Okay, take two. Hello and welcome. I'm your host, William Liu. This is 10 plays. We'll review 10 key plays from the previous Toronto Raptors game. And typically I would do this only after wins. But as we know, October 27th is going to live in infamy as a day where Toronto sports did not take a win because we had the Raptors losing 121 to 103 to the San Antonio Spurs. And more importantly, we all wasted and burned an entire week by staying up way late to watch the Toronto Blue Jays take a loss in the 18th inning. My goodness. I'm still reeling from that. However, despite me being tired, I'm still very wired because I really wanted to put this together on behalf of the Raptors rookie Collin Murray-Boyles, who played in his second ever NBA game. He was obviously very quiet, in his debut against Dallas, but he bounced back in a big way. And honestly, the rest of the game was really trash. The Raptors got a lot of problems. The starting lineup really did not trust each other. You had a really slow start to the season from Emmanuel Quickly, who continues to really look for his footing. Jakob Poeltl's back is all messed up. He left this game, which actually opened up more minutes for Collin to play. But the most exciting thing, and if you're going to take away one thing from last night's game, was that you had Collin Murray-Boyles actually announce himself to the NBA, and he did so by taking it strong to Victor Wembanyama in several plays. So here we go, 10 plays. I'm going to show you 10 plays from last night's game. Here we go. First play on the defensive end. This is what he does. This is what Collin Murray-Boyles can expect to do in the NBA. This is what he did in college as well. And again, I don't look at the score line because it does say 101 to 87 there, but the play we have here is the fourth quarter. Collin Murray-Boyles is guarding the ball against Victor Wembanyama, but the Spurs did a lot of this where they put the ball in Victor's hands and let him run point for the team. In fact, they actually set ball screens for him, trying to get Victor downhill. So the play starts with Collin guarding up top, and first off, he fights through the screen, and he sticks right with Wemby, so he doesn't actually give him any separation, any space. He's pressuring him all the way on the sideline. Wemby being Wemby, somehow this is a guy with 7'5" with handles, so he crosses back over, but now he's trying to size up against CMB. And CMB, the thing is, not only does he have the quick feet, where he anticipates the crossover and the drive for the second time from Victor, but he has the quick hands, because if there's one thing you would say about Wemby is that the handle, even though it's tight, just physically, the man is 7'5", and CMB has the freaky long arms, the 7'3" wingspan. And once Victor puts it on the deck, obviously CMB's footwork allows him to get in position where he doesn't get crossed up, he doesn't get shifted over. You see, as soon as Victor crosses over trying to go to his right, CMB slides his feet along with them, so there's no advantage. He cuts him off, and then that hand to poke it away from Victor, keep it in play, and of course that leads to a huge fast break where Emmanuel quickly hit a layup to cut the lead to 12. Okay, don't look at the scoreline. Today is all about Collin Murray-Boyles. It's not about the Toronto Raptors. So that's play number one, where he went to Victor Wembanyama. The next play down, I believe, was this one. This time he's also guarding Wemby to start, but he switches off Wemby and he switches on to Stephon Castle. Castle was a problem in this game as well. Castle is, the Spurs have literally the last two Rookie of the Years. And we'll see what happens with Dylan Harper, because Dylan Harper was pretty great in this one. But Castle was hurting the Raptors a lot in this one too. And in particular, so the last play you notice, it was Victor bringing the ball up. This is literally the very next play after the layup. So this time they have Castle bringing up their point guard. And they have Victor setting the screen. This is obviously what makes defense in the NBA so difficult. One play you have Victor as the ball handler getting the screen, and the next play down you have him setting the screen. And so if you're a versatile defender in the NBA, you have to literally be comfortable doing both of these. And so CMB's on Victor at the start of this play here. Victor's going to set a screen for Castle, but Castle's going to just reject it and go downhill. As you can see, there's a pretty open lane, and Castle's a very good driver. And so, Abaji, who's on the ball here, is already late. And so CMB sees this, and he reads it early, and he actually does a great job to switch and cut off the momentum going to the basket. RJ was also digging down, but that's a harder rotation just because, if he's coming in to sort of take the drive, Castle has an easy kick out into the corner shooter. I believe that's Vassell in the corner, who's a good shooter. And so CMB actually does the right thing here by just picking up and reading on the fly and switching off against Castle. As you can see, once the ball gets reversed. Once he actually cuts off the pass, Castle wants to reverse the ball out because I think they probably want to throw it into the post to Wemby. At this point, Abaji had to switch on a Wemby. Obviously, that's like literally over a foot in height of a mismatch. But not only does Collin cut him off, but he actually sticks so close to Castle here where he's just able to cut off the pass, pressure it, tap it, and of course in the process he also forces a travel. Granted, some of that is also good defense by Quickly, who sticks with Champagnie, who's the outlet here, does a good job of getting back out to Champagnie and cutting off the passing lane for Castle, and that's why Castle had to sort of retain the ball. But also, I don't think this play happens without, first off, Collin switching on to Castle, and then the next, also, just sticking with them and making that pass really difficult and ultimately forcing the travel. So that's back-to-back plays that, this is during a stretch where the Raptors actually did pick it up defensively. First quarter, the Raptors were garbage. They gave up 41. But especially in that second half, I thought they actually had a lot of better moments, and I think CMB was at the heart of a lot of that. Here's another play during that stretch. This is about a minute later. They had an inbound play where they just threw it to Victor, and it's pretty simple, but Victor catches the ball with his back to the basket. CMB's right up on him again, and as soon as he tried to put the ball on the floor, I'm not even sure what happened here. I think Victor might have just dropped the ball. There might have been a slight poke away from Collin, but in any case, he's right up on him, and as Victor looks to sort of spin, I believe Collin's hand might be in there, maybe? No, this might just be good ball pressure, which the Raptors have been preaching across the board from their team, but only getting it from select players. Oddly enough, from the young players like rookies and sophomores. But the good ball pressure here forces Victor into sort of spinning and getting away. And yeah, there's a little bit of frustration there from Victor as he turns. I think he's looking for a call. At this point, again, the Raptors actually were solid defensively. This is another play. This doesn't actually involve Victor as much, but again, you see a situation where Collin is guarding on the pick and roll. And this is what kind of excites me too about the lineup possibilities when you can have a guy like Collin playing in this team with the Raptors in their specific lineups. Because what you see here at the start of the play is you have Scotty Barnes guarding the ball handler and Collin Murray-Boyles coming over to help in the screen. And obviously they get the block there, which is great. That puts the Raptors on the fast break. The Spurs get back, whatever. The Raptors don't have numbers. But if you notice at the start of this play, you have Scotty guarding Stephon Castle, which he could do because he's, pretty much able to guard 1 through 5. And then you have CMB guarding against Victor. And first off, I mean, it's good communication from CMB. You can already see he's calling out the screen, letting Scotty know what's coming behind him. And once he reads this, they're going to execute a great switch. And the fact that the Raptors can even switch on a pick and roll like this, where you have Castle, who's a very good driver, and then you have Wemby, who's a very good alien. The fact that they can even switch on this and actually still maintain decent matchups is something that's really exciting for me. Like when you think about Vision 6-9, this is actually what you're envisioning, really. But of course, it needs a lot of good IQ to do this. And of course, Castle initially goes towards the screen, but then rejects the screen. That little quick crossover does give him a half step on Scotty, but he doesn't even have to because at this point, Collin has read the whole play. He's on the right side. He flips his body to cut off the drive once again, and now it's just a switch. And of course, like, you're okay with Scotty on Victor. They didn't do a lot in this game, but maybe, in another chance, they probably do it a little bit more. I mean, certainly better than Jakob Poeltl with the bat back against Wemby. But here's Collin Murray-Boyles, gets another crossover from Castle, and at this point, he should get himself a pretty good advantage because at the point of the crossover, he gets good separation, and CMB should be beat on this play. But if you just notice how quick his feet are, he's in line with them. And then by the time they go up, and Castle does do this slow step a lot where he likes to Euro step, he likes to change his footing. By the time he goes up, Collin is already there, beats him well before the basket. Actually, good help from Scotty too, because Scotty probably could have got the block here as well, potentially, on Castle. But this is just like really good IQ from Collin to execute the switch, read the first crossover, gets beat by the second crossover, recover all the way back on the play to the point where he's blocking Castle before Castle even gets above the rim. That, again, that's just like the defensive versatility that you see from Collin Murray-Boyles. So, of course, it's not just the defense, it's also the offense because he had 19 points in this game. We cannot expect him to have 19 points every game, but certainly this is a game where we get to see sort of what's in Collin Murray-Boyles' bag at the moment. So let's flip on the defensive end to the offensive end. At first, this is going to be really key for Collin Murray-Boyles, but he's going to have to get these threes to drop. And this is the thing I've been saying is like, I was at training camp. I was at the preseason games. I was at the Raptors, home game against the Milwaukee Bucks. I've been trying to tell people that like in the shooting drills that they do, and they always shoot a bunch of threes to warm up. He's actually looked pretty solid to me on those. A lot of those are even contested drills where he's shooting a hand fully contested, and he's actually making them. Now, granted, do I expect him to be a strong three-point shooter right away? No, just because of the fact that, he wasn't that strong in South Carolina. But basically, since his season ended last year in like February or March, he's basically been working on this three. And so situations like this, I mean, this is pretty simple. Brandon Ingram's kind of go one-on-one against Harrison Barnes. He got stood up. Victor walks over. This is a lot of the defense that San Antonio played, where they had Victor kind of roaming in the middle and just taking away the paint constantly. It worked really well, especially when the Raptors had Jakob Poeltl in this position instead of Collin Murray-Boyles. But again, CMB catches, shoots, no hesitation, nothing. It's a great smooth stroke. That's one of his 3 threes. I'm going to show you the other 1-3. I left one of them out just because you don't need to see every single one of them. But here's another play where, again, similar to that situation, the Spurs, even though it's not Victor in the paint, it's actually Victor's on the bench, and Bismack Biyombo, shouts to Bismack Biyombo, Raptors legend, is in the game. But you see the same strategy, right? They're really taking away the paint. They're ignoring the centers. And so, Bismack Biyombo is technically guarding Collin Murray-Boyles, but he's all the way over in the paint. And as Mamu drives against a smaller defender, there's 4 Spurs inside the paint and another one looking at the ball. And so the easy kick out is to Collin. And Collin, again, no hesitation, shoots it, knocks it down. He had 3 threes in this game, which was half his scoring. Again, I don't expect him to hit 3 threes every game, but if he can just have a reliable 3-point shot and space out the floor, it creates so many more opportunities for him. Because what we see here also is primarily what we're going to see from Collin is the pick and roll game where, he was able to score, I believe, 3 times in this game through the pick and roll. Here's one where he operated with Brandon Ingram in the pick and roll where Ingram doesn't even use the screen. He just allows CMB to slip, and CMB is able to finish. Again, this is pretty simple, but the play starts with Collin being cut off. He caught it in the paint, but there was no real advantage here, so he kicks it back out. Which is smart. Again, you get the ball back to Brandon Ingram. Late shot clock. If you don't have anything, give it to Brandon Ingram. It's a great idea. Ingram sizes up. He gets the screen from CMB. A little subtle shove / push. I mean, this is like classic pick and roll play. You need to create a bit of a gap, right? And so this gives him the chance to sort of slip back door. Again, Bismack Biyombo not really guarding nobody, so he's just constantly going to be in help position here, and so he's actually going to pick up CMB on the roll. But Ingram, again, this is another good thing of Revision 6'9". I know it's not particularly popular right now, but the fact that you have a guy who's handling the ball at 6'9", who can throw the pass over the top. I mean, you have Vassell fully jumping to contest this pass, and he's still able to deliver the pass inside. I think that just gives you like the really unique passing angles. But regardless, it's a pretty difficult catch for CMB because he got the shot clock working against him. He got the shot blocker working against him. He's got to work on catching it and then not traveling in this scenario. But that catch, do you see how much he's able to jump, catch, and by the time he actually gathers, he's already in position. So he doesn't need to take a dribble. He can kind of neutralize and just go up quickly. And then I think it's just the strength and the sort of the width of his body. I think a lot of rollers have to find a way to get separation, right? Because you're obviously at the rim. There's always going to be help defense. And the way he's able to just be strong and seal and like never allow Bismack to get back into this play, and then how wide his body is, he's just able to get to his preferred left-handed finish. Now, granted, the one thing with Collin is that he's just not particularly tall, and so it's going to take a little bit of time for him to adjust to finishing over players with real size. Bismack, as we know, we love Bismack in Toronto. He is still fundamentally a shorter center, and so he's not able to get to this block. Again, if you try to do this against Victor, he's probably getting blocked. But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you can say that about anybody. So that's just a nice fundamental finish and a nice little play all around from Collin Murray-Boyles. First, the awareness to reset, and then the awareness to sort of finish on the roll. Again, it looks so simple, especially when you watch it in real time, but there are actually a lot of elements that really need to go right for that play to be completed. This is another play. No, hold on. This is the wrong play. My bad. Hold on. I'll show you this play in a second. Let me show you another play that he made in the pick and roll. This one, he's actually not the roller, but he's working with Jamal Shed here. And I just think this was really smooth. Like, this was just like a really surprising play for me. Okay, so first off, the play starts actually with the pick and roll. The Spurs are, believe, they might be in zone. They played a decent amount of zone in this game. But they may appear to be in zone. In any case, one of the ways you beat zone is you screen the zone, right? So you have Jakob Poeltl coming in to screen for the ball. Jamal Shed is going to try to work off of that. Now, Jamal actually sees a gap, and so instead of using the screen, he actually splits the two defenders on the screen. He sees that Castle kind of is already kind of too far away from him, and he uses his quickness to get into the middle of the lane and engage the back line. At this point, Bismack Biyombo steps up to try to stop Jamal Shed, and this is where Jamal has the opportunity to feed Collin Murray-Boyles in the back line. I think it was smart to throw him the lob just because it takes away the time to catch it, come down, and go back up. That gives more time for the defense to recover. But it's not a particularly great pass, if you can see this, because when he throws this ball, it's like really high. And by the time he's actually contacting the ball, it's like the ball is still above the square. And, of course, it's pretty good help rotations by the Spurs all around. I mean, the Spurs have been great. They're 4-0 to start the season. But you see the help rotation. I believe it's from Harrison Barnes, and he's actually contesting. And so if Collin were to just catch this and come down with it, there's a real chance that he's going to get swarmed by the defense, and the Raptors will have to reset. But it's the smoothness which he catches the ball, and he just, like, guides it in with a tap off the glass. Again, like, by the time he touches his ball, the ball is, like, genuinely above the square or in line with the top of the square, and he just taps it against the glass for the quick finish. I mean, this genuinely was a really, really nice play, man. I mean, the split from Shed was smart, but the tap in, that was, I mean, that's nice. That takes some dexterity and some creativity. Another one, and this is the play I wanted to show you earlier, kind of a give and go, kind of broken play scenario. But again, I think it showcases a lot of what makes Collin such a smart player and sort of his IQ, not only on the defensive end, but on the offensive end as well. So here he's leading the fast break. There's 20 seconds on the shot clock. But he sees that the Spurs are back, right? So he has two options. He has Mamu trailing behind him, and he has Brandon Ingram, who's going to go to the wing, right? So when he stops, he's actually, if you look at his face, he's like looking at Mamu, and he's trying to sell the kick-out pass to Mamu. The kick-out three to Mamu there is perfectly fine. It's probably not even a bad shot. It's a bit of an early three, but again, I don't really mind it. Mamu is a good shooter. But he actually tries to use his eyes to deceive the defender, and he's actually trying to get an even better look to Brandon Ingram, who's going to be open in the corner in a second. However, credit to the Spurs, Vassell actually doesn't fall for that, and he actually continues to sort of guard against the pass to Ingram, even though the pass is more open and Collin is selling it to Mamu. So he gets a hand to deflect it, so the pass doesn't come cleanly to Brandon in the corner. Of course, at this point, it's kind of a weird scramble situation because now Bismack has to come over and cover Brandon, even if he's not in the corner. Brandon's a great mid-range shooter. And at this point, Collin just has to sort of freestyle. And Brandon does get it back. He engages the defender. He throws it back door. Collin cuts back door, noticing that obviously Vassell had sold out to try to prevent the pass on the perimeter. So he's now on the wrong side of the defense. And once Collin catches it, he pump fakes the defender out the way, knowing that defender is rotating, he's late, and he's also smaller. Pump fakes, gathers, and goes up simply for the two-handed dunk. Again, this is just like really, like, you can see the thought process, right? The fact that he's leading the break as a big, the fact that he's trying to use his eyes to deceive and disguise where the pass is going to go. When that doesn't work out, he makes the read on the fly. He sees that the paint is unguarded. He cuts back door. He reads, again, he's calm under pressure, pump fake to get a better shot, and then a dunk at the rim. Again, that's just all really smart plays from him. And then lastly, probably my favorite player of the entire game is just him versus Wemby, like on a one-on-one scenario. You don't typically see players take it to Wemby. I'll just say that much, okay? It's literally Wemby, okay? I watched the entire game last night. I didn't really see Scotty take it to Wemby. I didn't see Jakob take it to Wemby. I didn't see RJ took it to Wemby a little bit, but kind of around Wemby for floaters. And then IQ not taking it to Wemby. This is the one guy I actually saw taking it strong to Wemby with intent. And here's the play. I'll just let it roll. So he gets the foul call. Unfortunately, he goes 1 for 2 on the free throws here, but this is a play where it happens a lot. The Raptors give the ball to their big at the top of the floor. You can see Wemby, again, this is the intent of the defense. They're going to sag back. And I like a couple things. Number one, even though he's hit two threes in this game, and he ends up hitting 3 threes in this game. Collin doesn't settle for the pull-up three here because that's what the defense wants him to do, is pull up for the three here. Again, the stronger he gets with the three-point shot, I don't mind this as a three and in this scenario. But as he sizes up the defense, he realizes, okay, Victor's going to play all the way back. He's going to take away all the options. So how can he actually create an option for himself? And this is the thing. Collin is very quick and he's very strong. He goes in for the little quick crossover. On the cross, he freezes Victor, and then he bumps. The cross and the bump at the same time creates that opportunity for him to try to go up for the shot, and of course creates a chance for the foul. And again, like, Victor gives up the foul. 99% of the time is not advisable to attack Victor. But I do think this is one of the things that you'll see from Collin is he's got a low center of gravity, and he's got a handle, and he's a lefty. So there's a lot of things kind of going for him when he goes to the basket. The size is not really in his favor, but that is a good set of skills to have. And again, like, sometimes it's about the shot blockers. It's also about the leverage you can create against them. He's honestly, he probably weighs more than Wemby, even though he's like almost a foot shorter. And then his center of gravity is low. And so when he gets lower and he bumps into the shot blocker, it's the classic thing that they teach you against shot blockers is you need to take the first bump against them, neutralize their ability to jump, and then try to finish over the top. And again, like, he gets the foul call. It's just one play in an entire game. It doesn't change anything in the game. But I think it showcases, once again, like, what Collin Murray-Boyles is all about. And it just makes me excited to watch him, man. I mean, I know that the Raptors are 1-3 on the season. They got a lot of problems. They got to figure it out. Honestly, with the way Jakob's back was looking, I think there's a real chance that the Raptors should just give him a week off to rest. And if they do that, they're really going to need to lean on Collin in particular to fill in minutes. If I'm guessing, they probably start Mamu and they bring Collin off the bench. But this is actually going to be a really key time. And if anything, this actually reminds me a little bit of when Scotty Barnes first came into the league, because when Scotty first came in, it wasn't immediately clear if he was going to start, but the Raptors had injuries, I think, to Pascal to start the season, and so they put Scotty in the starting lineup from day one. And similar to that, I mean, Scotty had a pretty quiet game one. The Raptors got blown out. It was against Washington at home. Game two was when Scotty broke out in his career. They went into Boston on the road, and they actually just blew the doors off Boston. Scotty had 25 points in that one. And as a rookie, you're like, okay, he's doing all the stuff that you expect from rookies, which is play with energy, go all out, fight for every possession. But you're also seeing the skill and like a glimpse into the future, because Scotty was giving the mid-range jumper. He was attacking the glass. He was getting in transition. He was playing on the roll. And that's kind of what we saw here today from Collin Murray-Boyles. That's why it was really exciting. Nothing else from Raptors Spurs last night needs to be reviewed. But actually, I think what we saw from Collin deserved a little 10 plays recap. So hopefully the next time I come to you with these, number one, is shorter. Number two, I don't have my mic broken when I start the stream and have to reset it. And then most importantly, hopefully the Raptors are coming off a win, because it's been a little tough. But unfortunately, we're not just here for the wins. We're also here for the losses. And shouts to Collin Murray-Boyles for having a good game. So once again, this is a new concept. Let us know if you enjoyed this. Let us know what you think about Collin Murray-Boyles' game. And hopefully we come to you next time with 10 plays after a win. See you guys. Thanks for watching.